Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. We've got Park City local Christian Schauf. Christian, tell us what you do.
What I do today, right? So I moved here a year and a half ago, and we have a company called Uncharted Supply. We work with Park City TV a lot, but we thought there was a need for kind of personal preparedness products in the world, not so much the weirdo prepper stuff, but just, as you know, going into the world prepared every day, making sure you have what you need in case something comes up. So we build a handful of products, and we do it all right here out of Park City.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with the 72. I was one of your first Kickstarter donators that,
you just told me that, I had no idea.
I know, but I had to tell you again on TV, so I look like a really good guy.
You are a good guy, I appreciate it. You said you're like the fourth one.
I was way early.
That's amazing, thank you.
But anyways, it was a really clever video, mostly shot on GoPro, and it's a very useful product. It looks, I'm impressed but not surprised of your success.
Yeah, thank you. It just seems like nobody was putting logic into that whole thought process, and we sat down with military guys and doctors and bush pilots and EMTs and all these people that do this for a living, and just said, what do you use on a daily basis? What works, and what would you give your family if you weren't there to protect them? And it just, to me, it feels really simple, but nobody'd really done it, and the sales we've had and the exposure we've had has shown that there's a need for it and people get it, so it's fun.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me how in life often the greatest ideas are ones that make you think, duh.
They say a better mousetrap, right? You know? I mean, I heard a quote the other night. It said, simple is hard and hard is simple. To make something simple takes a lot of thought process, and things that are very complicated are easy to make. But I think we kind of hit the nail on the head on that one.
Yeah, I'm impressed. It's a very cool product. So tell me, you guys got so much momentum there. You went on Shark Tank?
We did. We went on Shark Tank. So we started with an Indiegogo campaign, which you funded or helped fund. Thank you. A few months later, we got a call from Shark Tank, and we ended up on Shark Tank. We filmed. It was like this week last year at this time. It was like in June, and then we aired October 10th. It was a very interesting process. From January to October, we couldn't tell anybody. We couldn't tell our parents that we were doing this. I mean, we were talking about rounds and rounds of paperwork and interviews, and then we filmed in June, and I'm sure like with you, with everything you do, you can kind of watch the video playback at least within a day or two, right? Like, that was a pretty big moment for us, and we couldn't see a thing for 4 or 5 months. So it was a very interesting situation, but it was a lot of fun.
And you guys got a pretty great offer on there.
Yeah.
Is that common or is that uncommon? It seems to me that you guys kind of hit the whole Shark Tank thing out of the park.
Well, I've watched every episode, so I know how it works. And I know that the sharks always want a crazy deal. Right. So we gave them a crazy deal, but it was a very small crazy deal. Right. We figured the TV exposure in exchange for a little bit of the company was worth it. We didn't want to give them half the company. Right. They wanted more than that. So they started doubling it, and our sales were good, and we did well on the show. So I think we were in the tank for an hour, and within 3 or 4 minutes, Robert Herjavec had offered us double. And then that sounds great, right? But the problem is you want to be on TV, and if you agree to that, they have nothing to cut to, and they can't build an episode. So I had to keep him kind of hanging for a while and talk to everyone else, and then we finally agreed to the deal with him on the show. Huh. Yeah.
You're a smart guy. Did you go to school or something?
I did go to school, yeah. I went to a lot of school. I went to Wisconsin, actually, which is the #1 party school in the country, or at least it was when I was there, and it's top 10 academically. I always thought, that was a perfect blend to get through life, right? If you can have a good time and get your work done at a high level.
And then after you graduated, they just decided to throw in the towel on the partying?
Well, I think everybody wanted to go there so bad that they raised the admission standards. Now you got a bunch of people that actually study more. I don't know if I could get in today.
Keeping the riffraff like you out of there, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't make it today.
So you got some success with your company, and the first thing you did was move to Park City, Utah.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I've always wanted to live in a mountain town. I grew up in Wisconsin on a farm. I lived in Minnesota forever, and I was always like a winter sports guy, snowmobiles and hockey, and I didn't start skiing till I was kind of in college, but I just fell in love with it, and I just always loved the mountain town culture and thought that'd be a perfect existence. So our company's very online, everything's direct to consumer, and it's like at that point, live where you want to live. So you start looking at mountain towns, and I just personally think Park City is such a unique place with the airport. I still travel overseas a lot. having the airport nearby, having a community of entrepreneurs here and businesses, it's not cut off. It's still very connected, yet you're getting the complete mountain existence, and that to me is just perfect life. Yeah,
it's amazing how many companies have been moving here to Park City.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about the airport. It is an impressive airport.
Well, they're building a new one, so I hope they don't screw it up, because it actually is great right now. I can leave my house and be at my gate under an hour, and that's hard to do anywhere in the world, especially in a mountain town.
Yep. Reno's a pretty good airport, but we don't have to get into airport rivalry discussion right now. Right. Something about military. You provided some entertainment for some troops?
Yeah, so I was a musician for 8 years, and it's amazing. Our drummer was Prince's drummer, so I ended up working with Prince, and my friend Phil Solem wrote "I'll Be There For You," the theme song for Friends. So he was one of the guys I songwrote with. We toured for a long time, then the military asked us to come play for the troops overseas. And that turned into, I've been to Iraq 39 times in the last decade. It started with our band, and then we found that there was all these bases and weren't getting entertainment, basically because these bases didn't have landing strips and there was so much gear with a band you had to fly an airplane. So we designed a PA system that fit into a Black Hawk helicopter, which would allow us to drop to all these bases. And then they said, come as much as you can and bring all your friends. And then we started Bikes Over Baghdad, which our mutual friend Mike Escamilla was a part of. We started going over and building skate parks at bases and taking all the X Games guys over, and it was a big part of my life. I had my 30th birthday in Saddam's bedroom. It was just, I look back and I'm like, I feel like I'm reading a story, but I'm still here, so it was a win.
Now, has Dos Equis contacted you about taking over the campaign for the most interesting man alive?
No, but I would take free beer any way I could get it. So let me know if you know anybody.
Wow, that's really cool. And thank you for contributing to the entertainment and well-being of our soldiers.
Those guys deserve it. And I've always been very clear to say, I'm not one of the cowboys. I'm more like a rodeo clown. I mean, we're in the arena, but I don't want to try to compete with what those guys are doing. That's a hard existence, and a lot of respect to them.
Absolutely. Amazing. Nothing but respect.
Right.
Well, great. Listen, we have Julian Carr up next here for the Park City Morning Show, and we're going to take a break and come right back with Julian Carr. He has jumped bigger cliffs than anybody in the world without a parachute with his skis on.